There was a young couple who had a son, and when the son was newly born, they opened a college savings account because they wanted to give him the best opportunities in life that they could. Now, every month, they put as much money into that account as they could afford. Now, they made great sacrifices to put as much money in that account as they could. They drove their old beater car for another 3 years rather than incur the payments that come with a newer car. They took more staycations and vacations. They didn't shop at the haberdashery or the boutiques for the latest fashions. They bought their clothes at big box stores and made it work. They kept their cell phone until it just died rather than upgrade every 18 months to keep up with the latest technology. Finally, the day comes for their son to research and choose a college, and he informed his parents that he would rather just be a short-order cook for the rest of his life. Now, that pit that you feel in your stomach right now, especially if you're a parent, must be what our founding fathers would feel if they could see us today. We are so disengaged with the political process that they sacrificed so much to give us that they would be ashamed. According to Dr. Michael McDonald of the Public and International Affairs Department at George Mason University, conducted a study in voter turnout, and the results of that study was that less than 60% of eligible voters in this country actually vote. 60%. In new democracies like Iraq and Afghanistan, where people are threatened with death and violence if they show up at the polls, are still showing up in the 90 percentiles. In the United States, where voting is easy and safe, we're only turning out 60%. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Now, if 60% of the people actually fill out their ballots and vote, how many people actually do their research and look into voting records of candidates or read the entire ballot measure and possible outcomes? And the number must be far less of those who actually get involved in the political process and volunteer their time to do things within the political process. Now, we can all make this so easy by getting more involved in the political process. Being involved in voting in this country is not just a right. It's a duty of every American citizen to be involved, choose your leaders, and have a say in the political process. We also need to demand accountability from those that we send to office and not just give them a pass when they make mistakes. We send them to be our leaders because we think they are the best and the brightest. And when they fail us, they need to be replaced. I want you to imagine a world where only adult white male landowners could vote, where you would have to be a Bill Gates or some other rich fellow such as Donald Trump in order to be able to cast a ballot. Because that's what it used to be like. Since then, we fought a revolutionary war to win us the right to form our own government where every citizen could be represented. But it was still incomplete. We fought a civil war to give African Americans freedom from slavery and the right to vote. Around the 1900s, we saw the women's liberation movement, which gave women the right to vote. In the 1960s, there was the civil rights movement that cleared all the rest of the impediments to minorities to vote. We're turning back the hands of time on all these groups that have sacrificed so long and so hard to give us all our proper right to vote, and once we have it, we don't use it. Now, we can all really do things to make this situation better. Getting involved these days in the political process is very, very easy. You can volunteer your time to collect signatures at the mall on a ballot measure so that it'll be put onto the ballot. You can staff a phone bank or an office for a candidate. You can attend rallies. You can hang campaign posters for a particular candidate or a particular ballot measure that you want people to vote one way or the other on. Now, my purpose here was not to convince you to join one political party over another or one way of thinking over another. Whether you want to be conservative or liberal, you want to be a Republican, a Democrat, you want to join the Green Party, or you just want to remain independent. The important thing is to get involved. Read, do your research, and get involved somehow in the political process. Choose a better future for yourself, your children, and their children.